everybody, and welcome to the Wednesday edition of the Business Power Hour with Darren, Dimples, and the Music Man, me. Hey, Dimps.
Hey, Mr. Music Man. How you doing this evening?
What's going on?
How are you?
Well, good. What's it? Two ladies. This is a true story. These two ladies at a network meeting came over to me, and he said, "Your show was really good, but we missed Dimples." Good evening, everybody. I just got the finger from Jim. To the Wednesday.
It's all part of the story, right?
Hey everybody, it's Darren from the Business Power Hour. I'm not going to be in the studio tonight. I'm traveling.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Business Power Hour with Darren and the Music Man, except Darren's not here.
I'm here.
No,
I'm
you're
right
not
here.
Does anybody see that? Darren is not here. Darren is away.
I am right here. I'm right next to you.
Be quiet for a second. You're not here. What? I don't know if you got lucky.
Not the really interesting question.
That's a fantastic question, Norman.
Wow. See, I got fantastic. You just got good. I got fantastic.
Show's about him, so let's focus on that. Were you drinking before the show?
Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus.
There we go. We got it.
It's good.
No, it's...
Now we got to
There you go. Okay.
Smother it.
So, I think that's a music thing.
It's making noise.
It's making music.
Is it?
Yeah. That's so sweet. That's so sweet of you, Darren.
By the way, this is a Yankee station.
It's a
Thank
Yankee
you.
station. John, it's a Yankee station.
All right.
Unfortunately...
We got bugs in here. What's going on?
I don't know.
Do you spray? Get an exterminator?
It's that time of year where you're getting bugs and stuff. As long as we don't have bees, I'm good.
Yeah, all right. That's
But...
We have a lot of undulations out in the field. Undulations.
Is that a wine?
It's, no,
What the hell is undulation?
Fred, don't use big words. Hey, right? So this...
Help.
I gotta give him a cough button, Jim. What do you think?
Cough button would be a good idea. Consider that a good question that he asked?
Great question.
There you go. I got
Pythons and brains.
You're double D?
I'm double D. Show's about him, so let's focus on that.
We are. Hey, give me some loving.
How are you, Music Man?
Hello, Darren. How are you?
I'm fantastic.
I'm absolutely convinced. I'm absolutely convinced that
telling
you
you.
got some kind of brain damage when you had that thing last year.
I'm telling you that, and he called.
It's not classy, but classy.
Seeing interviews by Darren and the Music Man. Ladies and gentlemen, Darren Ciaffi and Norman Wasserman.
Let's do this. Yeah.
Hey, Norm, you there, bud?
Hey, here I am. Thanks for letting me in. Thanks.
Hey, no problem.
Nice glasses.
You
Good
like
evening,
them, right?
everybody, and welcome to the Business Power Hour with Darren, Dimples, Mr. Movie Star, and the Music Man. And here we are another week.
Summertime is upon us.
What's that?
I said summertime is upon us.
Yeah, it is. Except
it
we're
was-
all indoors.
I
So-
know. Well, it was warm today. I was outside doing some
Uh-huh.
yard stuff. But
Oh, you're fixing your circular driveway?
no, getting the pool ready. You know,
Oh.
an Olympic-sized pool is difficult to manage sometimes.
Yeah, but you shouldn't be managing it. You should have your team
Hey, look,
come in and take care of it.
I like to use my hands. You know, I like to get my hands dirty every once in a while.
Yeah, all right, that's good. Well, welcome everybody to another show, Wednesday evening. It's 7 o'clock. We have a special guest, and besides the business that he's in, what makes him special is that a few weeks back, we had some major internet problems.
Yes.
And we kind of like had to curtail his show, but we did promise him, which was the only right thing to do, was to bring him back. I had to convince Darren of doing it, but he finally acquiesced.
You had to twist my arm.
And we agreed to do that. So if you're ready, Mr. Darren, unless you want to talk
Yes.
about what you've been doing this week.
No, I mean, look, well, how was your Memorial Day? Let me ask you that.
Very quiet.
Yeah, mine too. We did a lot. I mean, Saturday was a washout, but
Right.
you know, Sunday and Monday we were doing stuff around the yard. You know, that's what we did.
Yeah.
So, you know,
So,
a lot to
we
do
went-
around here.
Food shopping. That was the extent of our
There you
weekend. And
Yeah,
I
you
got
told
to
me about that. You ran into our friend Brian.
Yeah, we saw
Right.
Brian Cohn, ran into him. We said, I didn't even recognize him, to be honest. His
Well-
hair he's got so much hair now.
Oh
and
my
he's got a
God! Yeah, I see. He does a Facebook thing at 8
beard
o'clock
and
every
he's
morning.
got this bandana
which-
around his head and his glasses.
Yeah, so he does on Facebook 8 a.m. Success Strategies of Success. It's called.
Right.
Brian Cohen does that. I really want to.
You've been on his show.
I was on his show, but here's the thing, he announces us all the time. He
Right.
talks about us. He promotes us. So I want to give Brian a shout out. Check it out. A lot of good information. You know, he'll drive you to the places to be to see the right people. You know, and we're one of them. So without further ado, all right, let's bring Peter on, and let's welcome him back.
Welcome, Pete Ciccone.
Hey guys, how you doing? Let me all right, can you hear me? Am I in there?
Yeah,
We
you're
even
in
see
here.
you. We can do
Hey,
both.
Pete, how are you?
Good. Hey Darren, so you didn't want me on? What happened?
No,
He's
no.
like that sometimes. You have to forgive him. He's really
You
old.
got to understand this knucklehead I work with, right?
Yeah.
He's always trying to twist things. He's always trying to cause trouble, you know. But that's
And I
not.
seem to do very well at it.
yeah, he's very good.
Part of his charm. It's
Exactly.
acquired
It's part of his
taste, right?
charm.
Very acquired. Anyway, so what are you doing back here? What do you got to tell us?
All right. Well, we've changed our MO since the last time. We're always moving. It's like
Well, if I could, Pete, let me
Yeah.
recap. Let me recap what happened last time, right? Other than the internet problems we had.
yeah.
And the things that you were promoting. Your company moved into actually providing PPE equipment and things like that. And we were talking
Right.
about that last time, but you've shifted a little bit now, right?
Well,
As
no, what
things
we've
have
done,
gotten more?
well, we took on a company.
Mhm.
My brother and I do a lot in conjunction. My company, Ciccone Consulting, his company, CKRX. We do a lot in conjunction in the healthcare field. And we're a sales team, essentially, and we promote products. The company we brought on, Red Hawk Medical Products, and originally when I first talked to you guys about coming on, it was to promote the needle destruction unit.
Right.
Which is a great unit. And we have it. But because of what happened with Corona and the COVID pandemic, that company went to a bunch of other items they have: no touch thermometers, UV sterilization lights, PPE items, face masks, gowns, and things like that. And they just turned us over to that. So you guys want to start selling these? Can you move them out to your products? And it's been keeping us busy like you wouldn't believe. And that's last time I came on. It was I had my handy thermometer, which everywhere I go now, when employees walk in, they're getting their temperatures taken.
Right.
The new item we just bought, we just
Well,
got it this week.
Let's talk about one item at a time.
Okay.
Good, right?
Otherwise, this show's going to be over in 6.5 minutes.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, so Pete, the thermometers that everybody's going to have. Let me ask you a couple of
Sure.
questions about the thermometer itself.
Okay.
You know, offices are going to start opening up, and right now is a big debate on how they're going to go about doing that and stuff. How far do you have to be away to get an accurate temperature reading?
I just did it. You go right up to the head. It's like I would say half an inch, quarter of an inch type of thing. It's right there.
Okay, so
And-
do you have to touch the person actually?
No. It's a no-touch thermometer. You don't want to be near them, and it's right there, 98 degree, 98.1. I mean, it's perfect.
Right.
And that's it. And again, in the human range, it's like a full point. But anything between 98 and 99, 98.6 is the ideal body weight. But that will vary a point or two from person to person. 98 to 99 is where you know you're safe. Even 97.5, I tell you, to 99.
That thermometer that you're talking about, I have seen it now where you can, not that thermometer, but the same concept goes into a wall. And there was a Subway restaurant person, franchise owner, who would send his employees to the back room when they come in, and they just look directly at this thermometer and gives them temperature.
There are different systems out there. This is what the EMTs use. This is, person walks in, they can take their own. You can
Right.
do it. You can do it for them, and it's no touch, which is as safe as you can be. It's why the EMTs like them so much. They're
So-
not. They're quick. They're accurate. It takes less than a second to do. 3
So
seconds.
if I wanted to get that from you, Pete, how would I go about ordering those thermometers? Can I buy them in bulk? Say, and I'm looking at it. I have clients that have, 50 employees in their offices or their workplace, and they're going to need these things, so I'm going to need more than one. Right?
Yes. How
So-
many? I mean, and then like anything, how many are you talking about? I mean, right now we're with shipping and handling and tax. It's $89.99.
Let me broker this deal. Wait a second. Let me do
Uh,
the negotiation. I'm going to broker this.
Negotiate.
Well, no.
Get the
They
information so I can go back to my clients and tell them, hey, I got it.
$89.99 plus tax shipping.
Yeah, but
and-
what's Darren's price? We're like buddies. What is
Yeah,
Darren?
well, I mean, I'll work that out privately with Darren. I don't want to.
Wow. I'm telling you, Pete, he's always looking for an angle, this guy.
Yeah.
But I
Right.
make it fun.
No, I want to be able to go back because I like to go to
$89.99.
people and say, hey, I
Listen,
got a guy.
Yeah, you got a guy, $90. I mean, listen, and at $89.99, they didn't want to say $90. They try to be
Yeah,
cheap
yeah,
like
it's-
that, and but $90, and part of that, more than anything, is the shipping. What they have to pay, I mean, there's been a delay on these things like you wouldn't believe. I
Right, yeah, I
have
can
people
imagine.
who've been, I mean, and what drove the price up the last time is the new shipping. Gas is going down. It's gone down since the winter, but
Mhm.
the shipping's gone up. So
Where do they come from?
these are coming from these were from China, and but they've been coming from that's where we've been getting them right now. But they're sourcing them out. This company they're a medical products company. So they make sure everything they sell is FDA approved. They have their own specifications that
Do you
that have-
quarantine their product before you get distributed?
I don't have
Since it
to,
comes
yeah.
from China?
If it's coming from China, it gets quarantined before he even gets it.
Yeah, and then
We
they-
gotta have a second one. Make sure it's right. They didn't lie to us.
Yeah, hey. But that's what's happening right now. I mean, and they're trying to source them more permanently, and they're always looking for a better product. They're progressive in that regard. They don't keep their feet. They don't put their feet up. They keep moving. And they've been they were declared an essential business during all of this, and
Mhm.
as such, they've been bringing on new items. And the more they have to sell, the more we're going to be talking to you guys about them.
Well, and that's the thing, right? So it's and you're seeing a lot of this thing, like New York has just come up with a whole bunch of grant programs and things like that for manufacturers to say, hey, you know what? Go into this business now. Make face masks, make these thermometers, make it if you have the basic.
Well, what New York City just did, we brought on an item, the UV sterilization lights, and I don't even have one with me yet. I mean, so I don't even have one to show, but it's a little blue light. It's 18 inches.
Okay.
The city just spent $1 million on 150 lights for the subways. The
Okay,
beauty
so-
about the lights, they're UV lights. They're blue UV lights that sterilize a room, 20 by 20 room, 400 square feet. What they bought, the good thing about the light is it gets the whole room. When you spray and stuff like that, you might
So-
miss a spot.
So
And
hold on, let me
yeah.
understand it, right? So is this a round light like you put into the center of the room? Or
It's on a
it's
stand.
It's on a
Yes,
stand.
it's on a
Okay.
stand with a remote control button, with controls, with timers, so you can set it. And it's portable. It's not a heavy thing. It's a little thing. It's 18
Right.
inches. It's portable, so you can go from room to room to room also. But if you're leaving your office at night, you want to sterilize it. Customers are coming back tomorrow. You turn it on at night when you leave. You come in the morning. The room's sterilized. You're ready to go. $75.
$75 for that. And
Yes.
like you said, you can move it from room to room to room.
Yeah.
So if you got multiple offices and things like that, you can, excuse me, make sure that they're sterilized when they're walking in the morning.
Sure. I have
Right.
one guy I was telling you earlier, customer of mine, he's a service station. And I was talking to him. I got my brakes done the other day. He bought 2 lights because he wants to do his office and sterilize his office, but he wants to sterilize cars before he gives them back to people.
So wait, so he's using the UV lights to sterilize cars?
Yeah, the inside of a car.
Okay, so
So if it's on a pedestal, how's he get it into the car?
Oh, I mean, an extension cord.
Retractable?
No, it's a little light. It's that big. It's 18.
Oh,
It's
got
like
it.
No.
it's like your height.
Yeah, it's
That was good. That was a good one. It's about time.
It's about time. But all right, so explain to me,
yeah.
right? Because sometimes I'm a simpleton. Explain to me how the UV light actually kills these germs.
Yeah. How?
Yeah, it's just putting a UV light. You hear, okay, UV lights are good, and they,
Well, the UV light is it kills 99.99% is what they say, because they don't want to say 100%.
Mhm.
What is it about the UV light that kills the germs?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I think it's the what I'm going to call actually it is the radiation. You're not supposed to be in the room. That's why it's on a timer. And it also has a safety mechanism that if a human body is within 3 feet of the light, it's supposed to recognize that and turn off. So you're not supposed to be in the room when the light is on.
So it's actually giving off radiation.
Yeah, killing. I mean, it's not nuclear, but it's enough to kill the germs in the room and to sterilize a room. Like I said, they just took on the technology for the subway system. They spent $1 million on 150 lights.
How much are these lights? If you want to
These
buy the lights,
The ones I'm selling are $75. The one
that's
Mayor,
a bargain.
the one Mayor de Blasio got. I got to be fair. I don't know how big the lights are that he bought and how powerful. Ours are to do a 20 by 20 room, which is
I'm
at
sure
least
they're
as big as
off
your
it.
studio up there, and is as big as most rooms.
Do you have a sample? Do you have a sample of one?
No, he said.
We just
you
brought on the item this week.
No.
We just opened it up. I don't have a sample yet. I will have one within a week.
That one's gonna sell pretty good for you. That's right.
That's why I'm bringing it up there, big guy. I mean, honestly, Norm, that's why I'm bringing it up, because I think it's a hot item. I mean, in conversation with somebody the other day, I sold 2, and he just looked up because his competitor.
You're gonna have to book another date
Well, let's see how it
just
works
to
out.
talk about this thing to show it.
Let me talk to the
Check
booking.
the calendar, see what dates we
Yeah.
have available.
We went through the dates. Here are all our dates. I mean, our dates are all the way through October here.
All right. Well, you guys are.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And plus 2 of them are gone in December.
Yeah, plus 2 in December are gone already.
I remember the good old days when you were begging people, you were paying people to come on.
We were paying. No, we were never paying people to come on.
Now we get suckers like you sometimes.
Yeah.
That want to pay us.
All right. So
Twice in the same month.
again, we're gonna go back to, if I wanted to order this stuff from you, Pete, how
You
do I
can-
go about ordering it?
Email me. You email me at Red Hawk, and can I give you the email right now?
Yeah, absolutely. That's why
Peter?
you
Peter, Peter at needledestruction.com. And I'll spell it out. Needle, NEEDLEDESTRUCTION.com. Needledestruction.com. Peter at needledestruction.com.
Destruction.com. All right, I'm gonna put that up. So
I just want to take a second and just give a shout out to a good buddy who's tuned on tonight, Al Madlinger. Al is a great guy who's also the lead singer and manager of our Creedence Clearwater group, our special project that they have put together this project, and it's absolutely phenomenal. And he's going to make a special presentation soon. We're going to get him on the show, and he's going to talk about this documentary that they just got finished.
okay.
Just a shout out, little PR.
That's good. Well, let me give you, while we're doing the quick shout outs, I'll give shout outs to people I see online. John from Hazlitt's on. He's already making fun of my beard. Steve Nasita, Paul George, Norman, you're on. You're on, Norman.
I'm on.
You're on. You're paying attention. I'm sure Brian's out there. I saw Brian's name before, but it disappeared. And I'm sure Eileen's going to catch us, because Eileen always does. But anyway, let's get back to it.
And as far as the other PPE items we've been selling, well, the gowns, And we haven't,
Well,
you know,
let-
mostly with masks.
Okay, so wait, so let's go through the list, because I wrote down a
Okay.
list before the show.
I'm gonna
I'm
give you,
gonna
I'm gonna
ask
give you
you-
the top five. Let me give you the top five.
Okay,
That way we keep it simple. The thermometers, the UV lights, and then I have masks. And that is like we said the last time. This is your reopening package. As
Right.
businesses are reopening in New York, the stress is going to be to do so safely. And it's not a fad. It's not like do so safely until June or do so safely until July 4th and then go back to the way things were. Taking somebody's temperature, having a thermometer in your office or in your business is something you're going to need. It's going to be something that people expect you to have. If an employee is not feeling well, telling the employee to go home is really going to be part of what's expected, and you're going to want to know that sooner than later. It's not like the good old days where you felt a little sick, you took an aspirin, and you worked through it.
Mhm.
Today the sympathy is going to be go home, let me take your temperature very quickly and painlessly. And
So if you're let me interrupt you for a sec. If
Yeah.
you're doing this circuit and you're visiting all these potential buyers and so on, what's the scuttlebutt? What's the conversation going around or what they're thinking about for the fall? Is there anything you've heard?
No, what they're thinking about, you've got two types of clients out there. You got the ones who've been open, service stations, and people who've been, quote unquote, essential businesses. And then you have the restaurant clientele who have really operated in a reduced capacity where they're only doing takeout. And they're worried about next week. They're worried about paying their mortgage. They're worried about paying their rent. So, and then you have other people who've been shut down completely or now working at home, but they want to get back to the office, or the professional, guys like us, guys, who hey, I've been working every day, but I've been doing it at home. I've been doing it on the phone, and I haven't been going out the way I once did. So it depends who you're talking to, but I really don't see anybody looking past tomorrow at this point. And people are truly, and I don't mean this way, but they're living in the moment. They're worried about today. Their focus literally on tomorrow, the next 24 hours, and they want to make sure they open safely. And they
Yeah,
want
but
to
you have to think about the future.
Oh,
If
yeah, I
you're- if
know
you're in
that,
a-
but
you got to plan for this future.
Oh, no, nobody's saying no. My point is they've been closed for so long. They're worried about making some money so they can stay, so they can have a future. Because some of them, the future might be closing the door and getting a job working for you, becoming a booking agent for you guys. You know what I'm saying? They're worried about, my friends who own restaurants are worried about keeping the doors open. And again, tomorrow, next week is reopening the doors. And then how long before business comes back? Can I get my employees back? I talked to one guy today. He was like, thank God I didn't lose anybody. He's lost it. He mostly had a to-go business. He has a small little pizza shop. So he 90% of his business was to go. He said in the beginning he took a dip, but he's been able to kind of tread water. My friends who own a diner, and my buddies who own sit-down restaurants, they're sad right now. They're hurting like you wouldn't believe. And
These
you
pizza
know,
places are doing really well.
some are,
Pizzerias, yeah.
some are, but you know what? They do better when they can have people in the restaurant. Everybody wants a great to-go business because it doesn't take up your dining room. But if you don't have a filled dining room and you still have to pay $20 a square foot or $15 a square foot for tables that aren't being, utilized, you're losing a lot of money. And they
Your
know
friends, your friends that own restaurants,
that. Yes, sir.
have they had to take special insurance, liability insurance
No, not
because of
yet.
the virus?
No, not yet.
Hey, I'm expecting that.
is that something you think's going to happen? That
I don't know.
Yeah, they're already talking about it.
Well, yeah, if they have some of these guys, if you're going to hit them with another bill now, just
They're
shoot
not
'em.
going to make it. They're
Yeah,
not
just shoot them. Just throw a bomb in the restaurant. I bet you then if they try to do that now and try to milk these guys for another penny, just close them. This is the wrong time to ask them for more money.
All right. So with that and all of this stuff that we're talking about, Pete, one of the things you gave me your list of your top items, masks being one of them. Mask is the big thing now. I'm seeing more and more people out. I was out today.
Mhm.
I went up to the post office. I had my mask on. 3 people walked in without them.
Okay.
Right. And the thing I'm hearing is that people are like, I can't get them anywhere, or I don't know. I have a cloth one. Originally when we first started, they were like, okay, you got to have an N95, or, now that they're changing everything, right? Put a bandana around your face. It's
Listen, I wear mine.
it is, but tell us about you said you have 3 different types. You have
3 different
N95.
types. And again, I'll answer your first question. I wear one into stores for the very reason you just said. I don't want to be the guy alarming anybody. I see the sign. If it's required in his or her store, I will respect his or her rule. And I have, it is what it is. We have 3 different types. We have the N95. We have a KN95, which just means it's the same specification. It's FDA approved. It's CE approved. It's top of the line. It's 5 1/4. When you see a K, that means it's a foreign made item. When you see the N, it's a USA made item. I have a good buddy from high school. He needed a very specific item. He asked me if I could get it. A 3M N95, 3M, the manufacturer, N95, this specification, that specification. He's in the construction business worldwide. He wanted that mask. He wanted 5,000. I couldn't help him. But the KN95, if you want that really good one, that's the one with the metal rim, comes over your nose. Okay. Then I have an elite surgical mask, which is more that cloth feel, where it's the cloth feel one. It has another thing where you can pinch it over your nose so you can make it tight. It's exactly as good and works to the same specifications as the N95. It's $1.50 less a piece. So if you're buying 500, if you're buying 100, you're going to save about $150.
That piece in the middle is very annoying.
Well, if you do it properly, you're supposed to pinch it to your nose.
Exactly,
so
but it's still annoying.
Firmly on you.
Right.
Okay. And then we have the disposable mask, which is also FDA approved, 75 cents a piece. And Darren, to your point, I say customers should buy 100, 200 of these, 75 cents a piece. That way, when customers come who don't have them, you can offer them one.
Yeah,
Say,
I mean,
we want everybody wearing a mask. Can you grab one, please? And then they don't have a reason.
We went up to Home Depot this weekend, and they wouldn't let you in the store if you didn't have a mask.
Right.
Absolutely.
Well, you saw what happened in Costco.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's what's happening now.
They played something on the news last night in Staten Island. Everybody started yelling at the person without the mask, and Staten Island is its own area, but people are more conscious, and it will be that way. Masks will go away eventually, but
what gets me, once we come up, with the vaccine, and that'll calm down quite a bit. What gets me is these people walking around with masks on, and they have it down here,
under their nose.
right? And I'm like, what's the point? You're not doing it. You cover your nose. The whole point of the mask, cover your nose and mouth in case you sneeze or somebody else around you sneezes. You're not picking up the germs, right?
Exactly.
The masks are meant to. Well, when you wear, for me personally, when I wear glasses, fogs the glasses up when I wear the mask, because when I breathe, it goes underneath, clogs up the glasses, so it's annoying. But you're right. You have to cover the nose. The masks, and there's a debate on them. Who do they help? Who do they hurt? The people most susceptible are people 85 and above, people and with underlying conditions, same people who would be hurt by the flu, same people who, if they catch cold, are in danger, same people right now. I mean, I've been reading the same numbers you guys have been reading. I will tell you this, and I've been selling the PPE and I don't believe any of the numbers from anywhere yet. And just because I don't think they fully know yet. And I think they're learning as much as we are. That's why you get all the different messages coming out from, and the different approaches to fixing it. I don't think anybody really has a handle on it yet. And then, of course, it becomes political. And my theory is, if we tell all the politicians to shut up and we all figure it out amongst ourselves, we'll be fine. We'll be much better than with their help. That's just me personally.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that because unfortunately everything has become political now.
It's a sad time.
Can't talk about anything without somebody making it political, and then it's it's this one or that one, and it's this side against that side, and you know what? This is a major crisis that we all have to come together and work together to get through. Stop fighting over it.
Well,
You know,
the three of
Democrats
us-
and Republicans are dying through this. Nobody knows that you're a Democrat or a Republican.
Well, the
You're
germs
just
don't
dead.
know. The germs don't know what you are. I'll tell you that
And they
much.
don't care. They just
Yeah,
want you
Corona
gone.
doesn't care what you are, and that's
Absolutely.
a fact. And the three of us could get more because we want the same thing. We all want our families to be healthy. We
Yep.
all want to come through this. We want our neighbors to be healthy. We want to be able to enjoy our family time. We want to be able to enjoy our friends. We want our friends who are in business to be successful. We want the same thing. So,
I would love to give my grandkids a hug.
yeah.
That's what I would love to do. Give them a hug and a kiss. Can't even imagine when the next time that'll be.
Well,
So-
but Norm, it comes down to, we're now getting back to work. We got to see how this comes out.
Right.
Florida now has had a few weeks of being backing out where restaurants are at 50%, stuff like that. So that's the crazy part. If you look, Daytona, they went nuts down there a couple of weeks ago and the guy in Daytona saying, well, Disney's not open. Epcot's not open, right? MGM's not, there's nothing open in Florida. So everybody went to the beach.
Sure.
And they had tons and tons of people there that they couldn't get rid of. And, but let's see what happens.
Well, what Florida did that was smart. They protected the most vulnerable people.
You're right, the elderly.
They because they do have an elderly population. They have more people now, I believe, than New York, but they have far fewer deaths. They took a different approach, and they didn't allow people who were sick to go back to the nursing homes.
Right.
They
that was a big mistake we made.
Yeah, and the word quarantine, what has happened here, we've never quarantined healthy people before. And that's what made this so different to everybody. We've only ever quarantined sick people and kept them in a room by themselves. And you have to stay away from healthy people because you might get everybody else sick. And it's always been to separate the unhealthy.
Well, I'll give you a nursing home story that I know of without mentioning names or anything like that. But I know someone who's in a nursing home. The place is full. This person's roommate got COVID-19. They had no way to put him.
Yeah.
So guess what? He
Still-
got it.
Yeah.
He's okay now. He got
Okay.
through it. All right. But at the same time, it's like, they didn't take the guy out.
Yeah.
Because they said, well, if he doesn't meet this criteria, even though he's got COVID, if he doesn't meet this criteria, we're not moving him out.
Yeah. And
And it kept him there. And the next thing you know, a whole wing was infected.
Well, here's the thing as I've been looking at it. The world was attacked by something, I mean, however you want to use it. So if you tell me this guy, that guy, this one, whomever, in a war, so to speak, made some tactical errors, I don't think anybody intentionally hurt anybody. I think tactical errors they're enough to go around for everybody. And now we learn for the next time, well, we all work in the same direction. I think, but like you said, things become political. So saying yes to this guy or saying yes to that guy, then you have to go back to your party who's going to give you a hard time for doing it, whatever side of the aisle you're on. And that becomes the problem where the three of us want the same thing for the same people.
Yeah, we don't. I could care less.
You are, where you're from.
Where you're from. I just want you to be safe.
Yeah.
And when
My
I-
wife's nursing home is divided into 2 floors,
Okay.
with and without.
Oh
So,
God.
well,
Yeah.
you got to do that.
You got to do that now.
You
Yeah,
just
but-
explaining about somebody
But
had
Norm,
COVID.
But Norm, they have
Yes.
a ventilation system that goes throughout the building.
Yeah, but that's not good enough. It doesn't you already have the COVID.
Well, what I'm saying is you separate them floor to floor, but you still got the virus traveling through the vents.
that's why you separate them, and it seems to be working. It might not work everywhere, right? And people do have to go back to the hospital. The big problem was that the hospital shouldn't send these people to the nursing home.
Right, they
Because the
should-
nursing homes are not qualified. They don't have the right
That's
equipment and
absolutely.
such to go and do. So that's where
Well,
the
you
problem
know,
lies.
the quarantine, the lockdown was meant to not allow or to help the hospitals deal with what they thought was going to be an onslaught. If you remember the original projections,
Right.
2.2 million people, 1.5 million people were going to die. The hospitals were going to be overrun. That was 2 months ago. We're not even near that. And the survival rate is somewhere around 99%, not in that elderly community, but
Right.
in not in a community with people with underlying conditions.
Well, that's what the hospitals were sending to the nursing home,
Well,
or the
yeah.
elderly with underlying conditions.
Right.
Absolutely.
And that's why the numbers went up.
Right.
Absolutely.
So
But now-
here, I just want to jump in real quick. Jeff Rumplick actually had a good point. And he goes, this is why whole wings, we were talking about the air thing. It's why a whole wing in a hospital can get sick. But you know what? If they're in a hospital, they got all the equipment, they got all the drugs. And you know what? I don't care what anybody says. Nursing homes are not prepared for these things.
Nursing homes are not prepared. It was a bad tactical move by any stretch of the
But you
imagination.
talk about the hospitals having all this equipment, but yet we got 100,000 people that have died.
You know what? Because we don't have the right medication. We don't have the right treatment.
We don't know the answers. We don't know what to
We don't
do.
know the
Well,
answer.
I mean, listen, it'll be mitigated better in the future. And again, I don't, like I said, people have died and it's sad. The question is, what do we do with healthy people now? And in the next year, if we don't get back to work as a society and as a state, you ask me, what are people thinking about? Are they planning for the future? They're worried about next week. Literally, they're worried about, they want to plan as best they can, but they don't know, it's not like my business is at 50%.
That lamp
This was
is going
shut
to be
down.
that lamp is going to be huge for you if marketed right. People, just the general public, it's priced at such a good point
Yeah.
that when you go to sleep at night, you put it up in your living room or whatever it may be. You turn it on, you go to bed, clears the room. You're out the next day or part of the day. Move the lamp to a different room.
I'm thinking offices. I'm thinking you sterilize your office. That way you can advertise that you do that. That way you can take the extra step. The office has been sterilized. We sterilize our office, UV sterilization every night. That's how they're cleaning the subways now.
Are there UV light bulbs?
Yeah, it's a UV light bulb.
Large light bulbs that you can
Well,
put
the one
in.
we have is 18 inches. It's about that big. I'm putting my hands, it's about 18 inches. It's portable. It's meant to work in a 400 square feet, 20 by 20 room. Think of it like that. So however you calculate 400 square feet. So if it's 30 by 11 or 12, that type of thing, whatever a room is in whatever an office is. Well, maybe some offices you need 2 or 3. And but when you come in the morning, if you have 400 people who work in a building or 50 people in the office,
I'd love you to send me an email picture of this stuff.
I will absolutely do that for both of you guys.
That'll be good.
And then put that out. And again, hey, I one friend at a country club, he took 10 thermometers. And they go through 1,000 masks a month. So they're deciding what masks do they want. They want the disposable for the guys walking around the grounds, the construction workers who don't really need them. But when members come, they want to see them.
Right.
We talk a lot of times jokingly about being politically correct. I think face masks are going to be the new political correctness thing. If you just want to seem like you're aware, you're wearing a mask. You're not going, you don't want to offend people, so you don't.
You know what? Here's a good idea, Pete, for your t-shirt business.
Yeah.
Right? Sell shirts where it says, "It's me," and have a picture of me on the shirt with an arrow pointing up. It's me, because when I'm wearing a mask, nobody can recognize me.
Well, that's today.
Norm, you just told me you had that problem this weekend. You were in a store and you ran into Brian and you didn't even recognize him.
To Brian.
Yeah.
What's the joke? I went to the bank with a mask on my face, and I they told me how to wear a mask at the bank.
It's amazing, right? Walking in with masks now, and 6 months ago, we would have walked in a bank.
Well, you can't get into the bank because they're closed.
Well, a lot of them,
Actually, you have to go in by appointment.
Right.
I sit down, I had to handle something. I'm the treasurer of a nursery school and at the church up here, and I had to handle something. So I had to make an appointment. And they had masks to give people if you didn't have your own. They want
Right.
you wearing one, but it's by appointment. Three people working in the place, and they're doing everything. The line at my bank is the drive-through,
Mhm.
and so it's no more 5-minute trip to the bank. It becomes an
Not
hour,
at all.
and then you have to have the hour to spend, or you're gonna lose it.
And nobody's there to answer a phone either. And
They
if you
2
go
or 3
online,
people,
that doesn't work either.
and they're handling one customer at a time. If you don't get there early, you're late, and it is that simple.
And they don't wait.
It's
Well,
made life very difficult. It's going to be interesting to see how they open this thing up.
They're gonna open it up safely. They're
Yeah.
gonna open up piece by piece. They're gonna open it up on a reduced, and then they'll get back. It's like anything. It's like you're gonna dip your toe in the water,
Mhm.
and we're gonna start again. And so long as everybody's aware, so long as we all now wash our hands more often than we once did, we're gonna be that much better off. So long as we, if people are taking the extra step and sterilizing the offices, if they're taking temperatures, if they're sending sick employees home, we'll be better off. If they're
Well,
wearing,
that brings me to my next question, right? So you got the masks, you got the UV light, you got the thermometers. You know, one of the things that I've been having trouble getting is gloves.
okay.
You know, is that something that you guys are going to be distributing or?
I don't know that here's the problem with gloves and the corporate strategy. I mean, could they get them? Yes. Gloves are going to be like masks in the near future where they just become what we call football items, where it's going to be, which price? Okay. No, never mind. And so sometimes you don't want to get in that kind of business where it's only about price but you were forced to buy $500,000. So now, and you can get cut out for a nickel and they don't want to get in that business. They want to be in the more, imperative. They want to be part of the more imperative crew.
Right.
You know,
Because I mean, even the gloves that we have, we wear them when we go out. But like I was in Home Depot and I was picking up a couple of pieces of wood and the gloves ripped. And it's like,
can I tell you something how I feel personally about gloves? Growing up in the food business the way I did, I've been selling gloves in one capacity or another my whole life. But when you talk to a chef who cuts chicken, for instance,
mhm.
when he gets the chicken juice on his hands, the first thing he does is wash his hands.
Yeah.
Right.
And the more food he touches, the more often he washes his hands. There is a theory with gloves. There becomes a sort of confidence that you forget you got chicken crap on your gloved hand and you go touch something else with the chicken juice on it and you've contaminated something versus when it's you naturally, you're very well aware of it and you wash your hands. So I'm betwixt in between, unless you are in the habit of changing your gloves every single time. And then depending on which glove you get, if it doesn't have the cornstarch, you hurt your hand, you hand sweat, and then, so
Then
on
when you have your gloves on and you go into the supermarket and you pick up product, that's all well and good. But when you bring it in the house and somebody else packed it on the shelves that weren't wearing a glove, you got to wipe your products down.
Yeah, but where was your
'Cause you don't-
glove? If you're
No,
white,
if I pick it up with a glove, that's one thing. But now I'm bringing it into my home.
All
So
right,
with me, but I don't know who packed it onto the shelf.
and I'll
Was
ask,
that
but
person wearing a glove?
sure. And I'll ask this question, but my point about the glove is when you picked up the lettuce with your gloves on, when did you put your glove on? And that makes all. Did you drive in the car with your glove on?
No,
Did you-
understood.
Yeah.
No, I put it on.
see
I
people
actually
walking
have a
around.
box. I have
I
a
see-
box of gloves in my car.
Yeah, well, I see people
Before
walking
I
around
walk
with
in, I
gloves
put my
on.
gloves on.
Yeah, but when I see people walking around with gloves on, those gloves aren't clean.
No.
I mean, they have no
No.
idea what,
There's no way to maintain
No, none.
because
no,
it's-
we're trying to work. And here's the bottom line. We're all relatively healthy. We need to face germs so that our own immune systems can build immunity to. We do
Yep.
need that. And when you're trying to get to this super sterile society, A, it's not possible. B, it's really not healthy. That's why they're saying the people who've been staying at home, who haven't been interacting with anybody, are going to be the ones who get the most sick soonest. because they haven't faced anything, and they're hurting their own immunity. There is the other side of it. And again, we talked about it being political. This is the type of thing the politicians don't understand. The thing is, you wash your hands, you do the best you can, and you be aware. When you sneeze, you turn your head. If you're sick, you don't expose anybody to your germs, and you become more self-aware.
You know, we didn't give off your phone number yet.
Okay.
Nobody knows how the heck to reach you.
All right. I'll give you my phone number, 516-512-9842.
Tell everybody again.
516-512-9842. That's Peter. Peter. And
if they want to email you,
yeah, peter@needledestruction.com.
cool. Now, your buddy and my partner over here just put your information up on on Facebook for people to have it.
Fantastic.
That's an extra $50.
Yeah.
So,
and
you know,
just-
I have your credit card number, so I'm gonna do that tonight.
That's the extra advertising we're doing for you, Pete.
That was in the fine print, which you didn't look.
Yeah. To answer Jeff, the intent was not to buy wood when I went to Home Depot. When we were there, I thought of a project and I said, why we're here, why don't I pick up some wood? So I would have wore work gloves if that was the case, but it wasn't.
I want to give a shout out to Alan Schwartz, who's watching the program tonight.
Alan,
as
hey,
well.
Alan. How are you?
Alan, I know. Everybody knows Alan.
Alan Schwartz.
Everybody knows Alan.
Everybody
Trust
knows
me.
Alan.
Everybody knows Alan.
You know.
All right, now we only have about 10 minutes left for you.
Okay.
So if there's any products, anything else you want to talk about, what's
At
coming
the
up?
moment, I want to keep it simple. I want to keep it, masks, the lights, and the thermometers. If I give them more than 3, people get, real simple stuff. And on the mask, we have the 3 different levels, but that's it. We have the disposables. And the one I would tell people, get the surgical masks because they're just as good as the N95s, and they're $1.50 less.
Okay.
Now you're also doing T-shirts, right? You also
That's
have
a different company. That's a different company. That's the PB shirt company. That is the T-shirt company. You talk about companies that had a shut during all this. We had a shut. We were deemed non-essential, and a couple of orders I told you guys earlier we've been sitting on, and they're going to restaurant customers. And my partner and I, we're ready to. I don't want to say this too loud to the guys. Well, if they're watching, that's good too. We're probably going to wind up trading those orders for dinners type of thing. And
donate them and whatever.
Donate them. It's you're doing the right thing by a customer. You hope survives because for whatever you'd make on an order of shirts, you'll make that back in the future if you do the right thing by the guy. You
give him a T-shirt that says "I got turned on." You give him one of those UV lights. They bought a light. I got turned on by Peter. I think that's a good idea. Show a picture of the UV light.
And turned on by Norman, right?
Yeah, whatever. If that works for you, whatever works.
That's our biggest selling T-shirt right now.
There you go.
I'll buy that shirt.
Yeah, I'm sure you would. I'm sure you would.
You'd wear it.
Exactly. I turned myself on.
There you go.
Hey, well, there's another name for it. I like that one.
Hey, too much information there, Norm.
Yeah. TMI.
That's it. Too much information. You're getting there.
So, well, other than that, I wish everybody, a quick and safe reopening. And it's time to kick COVID's ass. I'm sick of this, quite frankly. I'm tired. And it's time. I think we need to reopen, and we need to do it safely, but steadfastly, and sooner rather than later. That's just where I'm at. And anybody who disagrees with that, I question, hey, have you lost your income?
Well, I think everybody is that way right now. I mean,
yeah.
I haven't really slowed down through this thing.
Sure.
Because I've been, all the companies, I'm trying to keep all my clients open,
Sure.
and so it's been busy with this PPP and the EIDLs and strategizing, because that's one of the things too. I said this in the beginning. The initial money they're giving us is not enough to sustain anybody. We're I had a meeting with a client today and we talked about, okay, 8 weeks is coming up. for the PPP money, but we don't have enough work to keep everybody on.
Right.
No.
So what are we doing? How are we going to handle this? You know, and it's like, do we cut everybody to a 3-day week? Do we maintain or we just cut who we don't need because they don't want to fire anybody?
No, but with it's 75% has to be spent on employees, right?
Yeah,
And-
on
and-
payroll, which they're going to meet. They'll meet that criteria, so they don't have to pay the money back. And they haven't laid anybody off yet,
Thank God.
right? But they're only at right now. You know, their revenue's down about 70%.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
it's gonna, it's, I mean, to Norman's point, some people are worried about next week, but when
Yeah.
your revenue is down 70%,
Mhm.
you know, how far in advance you plan on planning? You got to worry about eating next week. You know, you're worried about, what am I going to do tomorrow? And your planning has to become a lot more short term, a lot more immediate, I guess is the right word.
There are a few industries out there like my shows, for argument's sake, that can't plan that way.
No.
You know,
Sure.
I'm down. I have canceled 23 concerts, which was from March until September.
Sure.
Right, and there's more to be postponed. When I say canceled, either postponed or canceled, that money's been laid out. That money is still sitting over there. I don't have any revenues coming in from ticket sales or anything else like that. Doesn't
No,
happen.
absolutely.
You
So,
know, so-
but when you cancel 23 shows, how far in advance can you plan?
At least 6 months.
Okay, but
But
mean,
I said March.
But you don't even know if 6 months from now they're going to let you.
I don't have a clue. I don't have a clue. There is so much more that has to be done. That's
Mhm.
why I've started, and Darren knows, we have started over the last couple of weeks, conversations with virtual concerts with companies that do that. And the cost of it is phenomenal to go and do. The back end, if you can afford to do it, is astronomical. All right. I mean, you could do, if you have don't forget, we're going to be reaching around the world.
Yeah, but you don't have to get into all the details because you'll be giving away your trade secrets. Then everybody will be doing
There's no trade secrets. It's real simple. You got to have some money in order to put this. So I'm going to ask Peter to give me some of his UV lighting money.
yeah.
Well, we're coming to the end, Peter, believe it or not, of our shows here. We really want to thank you for being on.
I appreciate
know,
you guys making up the date so quickly.
No problem.
Wish you a lot of good luck. A lot of
Thank
good
you.
luck with your
Really
products.
do. We
Thank
wish
you.
you nothing but this tremendous amount of success. And
Well,
one more time, if somebody wants to get a hold of you, how can they do it?
Okay, first way, call me is always the quickest, 516-512-9842. And my email, peter@needledestruction.com. All spelled out, needledestruction, one word.com.
Okay. Well, thank you, Peter. We really
I wish you a lot of good luck and all the best. Stay
Gentlemen.
healthy, best to the family.
Thank you both, my best. And good luck opening up to your customers and to the shows and everything. I wish
Yes,
you both
thank
the
you.
best.
Do you want to rebook your next date now, or should I wait a week or so to call you?
Wait a week.
You're
Let me see
always
where I'm
working.
at in a week.
You're working those angles, you know.
All right. Thanks,
All
Pete.
right, gentlemen. Thanks. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye. All right, my friend.
You think he's talkative?
Who, Peter? Not Peter, you
Yeah.
know.
Peter knows his stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, Peter
Knows his
definitely
stuff.
knows his
So what do you
stuff.
got coming up next week? Anything?
No, I mean, now it's just clean up time and, I'm starting to work on these PPP forgiveness applications, which
Yeah, that hit the market today or something, didn't it? The
it was-
information.
it was last week that they came
the
out with
last
it.
one?
Yeah, it's a short application. It's only 11 pages long.
Hmm,
So that's going to keep me busy, for all my clients and that. So,
Do you hire anybody to help you with those things? Are they generic?
well, no, it's not so much. Look, it's not that it's difficult. It's just going to be time consuming.
Time consuming, right?
That's all it is. That's all it is. But no, I won't be hiring anybody to help. So, and all that other stuff. So when you saw Brian on over the weekend, right?
Yes.
He was talking to you about an idea that he had.
Well, actually, I broached him with it because
Oh,
it's something, it's a conversation that you and I had. He was talking to me about another podcast company that wanted to talk and have a conversation. So I said, it's funny that you said that. I said, because I was talking to Darren, and there are a number of people that do what we do. We've been very, very fortunate. Our fans have, they have followed us. The numbers that we're doing during this COVID-19 have gotten scary. I mean, they're better than they were before when we had the studio. This Zoom stuff is like killing it. So if you remember, I had mentioned to you, why don't we start some sort of like roundtable, podcast roundtable, and get some people that do what we do and find out, how they're doing, what kind of clients they have, what are they doing to promote themselves, and just have it's sort of like a networking group for podcasters.
Like best practices stuff. But you said you wanted to do it on Zoom and broadcast it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right. So that's
We're going to
something.
think of a name. We'll think of a name for it. And Brian, if you're listening, please have that company give Darren or myself a call, and let's get this thing doing. We also want to, if you remember, we wanted to limit. We're thinking about limiting the amount of people that we put into this thing. Nationally, there's a lot of people that do what we do, all over the place. So, we'll see what happens.
So what do you got going on next week? Anything?
I don't know. I'm making my menu so I can go shopping and then, I had 4 Zoom meetings today.
Oh, I got a funny story, a quick funny story about a Zoom meeting that I had the other day. Actually, yesterday. So I've been working with this person over the last few weeks via Zoom. And I had a meeting yesterday morning, and I get on and she says to me, I didn't realize I had to call you Dimples. So I went, oh, you finally saw the show.
By the way, speaking of seeing the show, if you check your messages right now, you have a relative that is watching you.
Ah, Liz, how are you, sweetheart? Hope everybody's good. How are you? My love to you. And to everybody. Yeah, exactly.
Kiss you too.
No, Liz is great. Yeah.
Next week, we got a really good guest. We have an insurance person, but he's not an agency, more of a broker, more of a middleman, knows everybody in the insurance, all facets of insurance. He'll be talking to us about.
Does he have a specialty?
He handles so much different liability, health, life, he doesn't do car. I don't think he does home, but you tune in next week. Darren, tune in next week.
You know what?
And you'll get to meet Mr. Parmet.
For you, I will come on air.
It will be our pleasure.
Mr. Parmet. So we're looking forward to that. Next week, right here on Facebook Live, we will be here. So don't miss it.
7 o'clock.
7 p.m. Eastern time.
And maybe we'll get the flyer out earlier this week, so people will find out that we're here.
Look, we had a little issue with the spot.
We did. We had a change of plan.
We got there. We'll have Mr. Permets out tomorrow.
There you go.
All right, because we.
All right. So everybody, stay well, stay healthy, stay well, be smart, and hopefully we'll see everybody next week.
Yep. Everybody, stay safe. We'll see you next week. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone. Bye-bye now.